Jay, it's nice to have you on here, man. Would you introduce yourself for people who may not know you?
Absolutely. My name is Jay Regan, and I do business coaching, online business coaching for different people within the fitness industry, as well as I've versed into the social media space. My primary focus is men's mental health, and I teach young men how to use the internet, how to protect themselves on the internet, and how to create a plentiful life using the internet.
That's a really good explanation. We're gonna get into all that later on, but let's start from the beginning. What was your childhood like?
My childhood was all over the place. There was a lot of movement. My dad was Navy, so there was a lot of movement with that. But um, I was homeschooled up until the fifth grade. Only had like three childhood friends when I was super young, so that was very interesting for me to go from homeschool to public school. From there, it was interesting getting into school. I was always kind of the quiet kid, so I was actually started doing like the content and playing video games and shit. I think every young boy was playing games and shit back then.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that was a little bit, the regular childhood. Come home by the time the street lights were on. I was always outside, paintball, running around, doing different stuff. And the biggest thing was just, like, me always just trying to, like, learn different stuff. Like, I had worked with a couple of different companies, like Uvu, Kick. I worked with Google and Meta back then, and this was when I was
Nice.
15. I was working under one of my buddy's LLCs for this. That kinda started my content creation. The gaming industry is really where I got into it. It was FaZe Clan specifically that introduced me into content creation, and then from there, I mean there really wasn't much. My childhood was a lot of playing outside in the dirt and just sticking to myself. Like I said, I only had 3 friends, so it wasn't really much to it.
Mm. Like, did you have like a moment or a pivotal point where you decided that you don't want to go the regular route, like I don't know, go to high school, college, then get a 9 to 5, and let that be it, like most people do, actually.
Man, I don't want to say a pivotal point, but maybe a realization. I've always had this thought, and me and my brother were talking on this just yesterday. People
Hmm.
who have always, like, gawked over superstars and had posters and shit in their room, from the youngest age, like, since I can remember, I'm like, you are wasting thousands of dollars and hours and brain power on somebody who doesn't know you
Yeah.
fucking exist. I was like,
Exactly.
I never want to be like these people. So like from the age of like 9, 7, I was like that. So I wouldn't
Mm.
say a pivotal point, but I always knew like I never want to be like these people.
Yeah, just spoken about that on my story last night when I spoke. Like, I was editing a video at 1 a.m. and one of my friends from high school he sent me like an Instagram reel from this beef Drake and Kendrick Lamar. I'm like, bro, you're a spectator. What the hell?
Right.
Like, like that's I hate people that are spectators and they are trying to send you shit and try to get you to talk about this drama with them. You know?
No, literally, dude. It's the drama specifically. I've
Yeah.
never been one to partake in drama at all.
Oh my
It's very
god.
interesting how people invest themselves into it.
Like if they have the same vested interest in their own lives, they if they put all that energy into their own lives, they actually will get some really good results in their personal lives, man. Like in a
Dude,
lot of stuff.
all literally exactly what you just said. If they would just move the energy to
Yeah,
invest in themselves, or even just take time for yourself, or even in your family and friends,
yeah.
dog, like the ones that matter, people's lives would be so much different, dude. I can't
Mm.
even begin to comprehend where people would actually be if they put time into themselves like that.
Yeah. Who did you look up to as a kid? Did you look up to anyone? Like seek inspiration in anyone?
I would say there's probably like two people. My dad being one of them, and then Phase
Good answer.
Rain. What was that?
Good answer. Who was the second person?
Phase Rain. He
Hmm.
was one of the original co-founders of FaZe Clan, and they were one of my biggest inspirations for what I do now.
Mm. When did you start posting content, like in general?
When did I start posting content?
Yeah.
In October of 2011 is when I posted my first YouTube video.
Do
And
you
I
remember
started
what?
using,
Do you remember
what's that?
what that video was about?
Yes, it was a video of me and my buddies playing paintball on Call of Duty Black Ops 2.
Uh,
It
uh,
was my very first video, dog. I'll never forget it because that started so much.
do you feel like some people like how should I say this? Some people want to start posting or start doing anything online, like let's say, but they just like they're overthinking. They are hesitating so much about that decision, and some people like postpone posting their first video and find excuses like, oh man, I need to get this professional camera and I need to do this and this and this before I need to jerk off before I do this, like doing whatever.
Literally,
like
dude.
why do you think some people like hesitate so much and just do not pull the trigger?
So the reason that I think people hesitate so much is because they give a shit about what other people think too much. Like,
Mm,
simply put, they care too much what other people think. The thing about posting content is all the people who talk shit and all the people who will talk down to your content are not the ones who are going to post it. They are not the ones that are doing anything successful with their life.
yep.
They are not your supporters. They're not going to be paying you for your service or whatever you offer eventually. I wouldn't even care what they think to begin with. But
Mm,
yeah, that's really probably the biggest thing is people are scared, and I'm sure there's subconscious underlying reasons, like whether it be ego or I don't look good on camera or whatever the case may be. But that is the main reason that I've found that most people are like, oh, I don't know what my family's gonna think. What if I fuck up?
mm.
What if I get canceled? And everything stems to what other people think. So that's the main thing.
You know, most people actually think that everybody's focused on them when most of us are actually self-centered and we think about ourselves. Like we don't actually notice what other people are doing, or if we do, we like think about it for like a minute and then we go back into our lives. Like we forget
Even in
about
the
the stuff.
gym, bro. Like people
Yeah.
think that's the same thing in the gym, bro. They don't care. Like when I see kids in the gym, like whether they're doing some stupid shit or whether they're jacked, I look at them for like
Mm,
10 seconds. I'm like, I'm happy to see you here. Keep getting your workout in. Back to my shit. Like
hell yeah,
I don't
man.
know why people think so long and hard that everything is focused on them. But I think it also stems back to what you just said, where everybody's so self-centered. People probably just think that the attention's on them because the attention is on them in their head. So
Exactly. Um, I want to say something about this point, but I think I just forgot. Actually, nah, I'm not gonna right now. Anyhow,
you are all good, my friend. I know how that is. You've had a
I
long day.
wanted to ask another question. When was what was the first money you made online ever? Like, what was the first dollar you made online?
It was either between Google AdSense with my first gaming
Mm.
account, or because what I used to do when I was younger is I would build maps for Minecraft servers and then I would sell
Oh shit.
them to Minecraft YouTubers. So that was probably either one of those. I don't remember. I don't remember which one it was first. But when I was very, very young,
Mm.
it might have been 2014. I got my first check from Google. So it was either that or it was the Minecraft videos. I don't remember.
Oh,
But I need to figure it out
interesting.
because that's a really good question.
What was like what was like the first business idea you tried?
Definitely the Minecraft maps. When I was younger, I would build Minecraft maps. Me and my brothers would play for hours every single day. And I had a list, like this is when I was like 14. I had a list of different Minecraft YouTubers and
Hmm.
I would make Minecraft maps for them. And I would go through, I'd email them, I'd be like, yo, I see you have a server, let me build a map for you, let me build a castle for you. And that was generating me a couple $1,000s a month. And this is when I was in like middle
Oh
school.
shit. Thousands.
Yeah,
What
no,
the fuck?
YouTubers have money. Like I would charge like $100 a map because it would take me hours to build
Uh-huh.
it. So like by thousands, I mean like 2, 3 thousand maybe. And
Yeah,
this
but
is how I got to get my gaming computer and stuff.
yo, at 14, that's fucking amazing. Actually, what the hell? Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I realized that YouTubers had money because FaZe Rain, the guy that I
Ah.
looked up to, he was driving Lambos and McLarens and shit. So I was like,
Yep.
if YouTubers have money, they'll pay me to do stuff that they don't want to do. So I built Minecraft maps because
Yeah.
I was good at it.
Hey, that's smart thinking over there. What the hell?
Yeah,
Uh,
dude.
did you try like
Appreciate
any other business ideas in the past?
Oh, I've tried so many, and so many have failed, dog. I have tried so many different things, dude. Like I've car rentals, I've done detailing, I've done
Mm.
car repair, I've done graphic animations, I've done SEO, marketing. I've done quite a few. I would say like maybe nine. I don't want to say too many, but I would say nine that I actually tried and did and put like at least 3 months into.
Well, which one do you think was like? Which one would you say that you've learned the most lessons from?
So, probably the one I'm least proud of in
Mm.
Miami when I was younger. I had 3 clubs,
Mm.
and I had different party promotions that I would do. I had different drinks, because I don't wanna say too much, but I would be like I had
Mhm.
different things, like, there was marijuana, and there was lots of different things that I was doing to create money,
Mhm.
but the main thing was party promotion and clubs. And the reason I say that I learned the most is because this is the first time that I ever touched $1 million, and this is the youngest I
Mm.
was, and this is when I lost all of it. I went from having $3 million in cash to living in my car.
Oh
And
fuck.
from this, I learned so much. I learned like where I want my values to be. I had felt disgusted in the industry I had entertained myself
Mm.
with. This was also during Corona. This was falling out during Corona.
Oh.
But I learned so many different things about myself, what I value, the people I want around me, how money works, how business works, LLCs, liability. I learned a lot. So that was probably the biggest learning experience for me.
Man, that must be like such a fucking mental shift going from being basically a millionaire to going like to living in your car. Like
It was
what was that like? Like that mental shift.
It was a wake-up call for me, I'll say, and I can say with all confidence, it was a very conscious decision because, like I said, I was part of an industry I wasn't proud of. My family knows nothing about anything that I did. They never knew that I had this money. It was a mental shift of, like, mostly morals. Like, I was morally like, "I don't wanna do this. I don't wanna be known for this. This is not my purpose. This is not what I was put on earth to do." So I was like, "I gotta cut this shit out." And I immediately moved from Florida. I've never been back to Miami since then. But it was a very conscious decision. I was just like, "I can't do this anymore."
Huh.
I was like,
Did
"I'm
you
gonna make my money the right way."
mm, like do you feel like when you move to like a big city like Miami, New York, LA, like the networking opportunities there are like actually like interesting. Like how like who is the most impressive person you met, would you say?
Probably Iman Ghazi is probably the most
Oh.
impressive person. Either Iman or Joss Mooney is a pretty cool. Joss Mooney's pretty cool. He's done
Mm.
some shit, and he was really big in the fitness industry. But
Mm.
Iman Gadzhi specifically, just within the 15-minute conversation that I had with him, was
Mm.
probably one of the most impressive individuals that I've ever met in terms of capability, the way he articulates sentences and words and advice, the way that he
Yeah.
talks to everybody, makes every single person in the room feel important. Like, probably one of the most influential people that I've ever met. Um, but yeah, I would say that the network opportunities are pretty drastically different depending on the city you go to, especially depending on the coast that you're on. Like, mostly West Coast is like old money, real estate. You have a bunch of
Mm.
fitness, you have a bunch of that stuff, and then you come to the East Coast, completely different subset of people, especially people coming from like
Mm.
Europe and different places, because a lot of the planes from Europe and South Africa come through the New York International and stuff like that. So it really depends, but yeah, I would say that
Mm.
there's a very drastic difference between locations.
What would be like the best networking tip that you could give someone? Let's say like
Network.
you want to move from your city, all your friends are smoking weed and playing video games, and you want to do something with your life, and you want to actually change your social circle and actually want to meet like-minded people. What would you say is like the best networking tip?
So, like, the best networking move or the best place to move?
Um, the
Because I
best
would say
move,
that those can
let's say.
vary depending on your niche.
Mm.
So, what I would say to that is probably find a city that has a lot of the people doing things that you want to do. If,
Mm.
like, let's use fitness for example, because I know this very well. You have the difference between LA lifestyle and Miami lifestyle. LA
Mm.
lifestyle is a little bit older, they're a little bit more grunge, but it's the OG. It's like Hollywood, LA, Cincinnati Beach, all that kind of stuff. That's great. But then you have the younger side of the fitness fanatics you have in Miami. Like you have Vincent Fisher. I was down there. Sam Smills. You have Alex Kowalski. You have a lot of the bigger, younger kids in Miami running around in millions of dollars worth of cars. And though you might fit in better with that group of people versus the old Arnold group of people in LA. But for anybody that's looking to build a better social network, give me one second, it's fucking funny. For anybody that's looking to build that better social circle, I would look into where you're going. I would see what kind of people are already there. Make a list of people that you want to get in contact with. Weigh the benefits of it. What is the price going to be? Are you going to be able to have work there immediately? Are you going to have digital clients? Are you going to have physical clients? I would really plan for it, but I would not use the planning to hold yourself in one place because, like you said earlier, people get so caught up on thinking of the
Yep.
what ifs and how is this going to work out. Don't do that. But obviously weigh it, making sure it's a calculated move so that you're putting yourself in a good position to do successful things there.
Interesting. Do you have haters?
Oh, so many. So many.
What did they say?
It's actually really funny. A lot of them are different people from my old business models. Like they were kind of upset that I had left doing specific
Mm.
how can I put it? Because when I was in the club industry and I would be taking care of that, people had a lot of connections through me. When I completely
Yep.
dropped it, they basically lost their connections to my entire network of people. So there's those people. There's a lot of people on TikTok. I just call them brain dead haters. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They're just over here fighting over Trump and Kamala for some ungodly
Mm.
reason. So
Yeah.
there's plenty of haters out there, dog, and there's not too many in my comments because I very very specifically curated my feed to only be positivity. I don't like leeching off of negative things. I don't do the drama reports where people green screen and talk about drama. I don't entertain negative energy at all. So I don't have them prevalently like on my YouTube and Instagram and stuff. But if you go on TikTok, you'll find plenty of them.
Like, why do you think some people are just haters in the comments? Like, they don't actually have a life of their own. They're spectating on other people's lives, and they have to put the energy source,
You gotta
into
put it
other
somewhere.
people's lives. Why do you think some people like literally do that?
So I guess this could be what I think. I'm pretty sure it's accurate as fuck, but most of these people just hate their life. They hate seeing
Yep.
what they could have. They're mad, they're upset, they're insecure every single time that they see the posts and the views and the success. And all that energy
Yep.
is, in fact, bottled up inside. Like they got to put that energy somewhere and they
Mm.
project. And it's very funny because there's literally a guy in my DM not even 2 days ago. I was posting about my course and he said, "Fuck you, your course is bullshit, you're a scammer." And I just commented, I was like, "Is that how you feel?" And he was like, "No, not really. I'm just like really
Oh
upset."
my
We ended
god.
up having an entire conversation. I could have been easily ignored it. I could have very easily retaliated to it, but I was like, "Is that how you feel?" Because I'm curious as to how people feel and how they operate. But
Yeah.
yeah, generally, it just stems from insecurity and people hating what they don't have, and people
Mm.
see it, and I don't even know what commenting does. Like, I can't put myself in the same mindset because I
Yeah.
don't know what commenting on somebody's shit does. But it's just like I don't get it.
And like also people want to get your attention and they don't know how to get it. So probably that's one way they are trying to achieve that, perhaps.
That's probably a whole nother subsection. Yeah, is
Yeah.
they're just trying to garner that attention in whatever way they can.
Do you think like it's worth engaging with some haters every once in a while?
You say what now?
Do you think it's worth engaging with some haters every once in a while?
Oh, whenever I see it, I engage with it. Sometimes, depending on the hate, sometimes I like to play with them. I'll troll them a little bit, or sometimes, depending on like what it is, a lot of the times I will try to give them some positive feedback or just kill them with kindness, as they call it. But sometimes when you just keep going, I gotta play with you a little bit because you need to know. Like, come on now.
Yeah. What was like the biggest struggle throughout your journey in general?
You said the biggest struggle?
Yeah.
Um, in what sector? I'll say this. I've lived at least 6 different lives in my one life, so I've got so many different struggles.
Let's say, like, the worst period of your life or the most difficult one.
Definitely I call it my MIA phase. It's Miami, but it's also
Mm.
missing in action because this is the time of my life that I was waking up every single day, drinking, smoking. This is when I had millions of dollars, and I have never hated my life more. I have
Mm.
never felt so distant from my family. I had never felt so alone and in a relationship. I had never felt so fucking shitty in my life.
Mm.
And this is when I was doing the things that I didn't stand for. When I don't stand by my word or if I do something that I don't believe in fully, I feel like absolute
Mm.
garbage. And this was a time in my life that I was doing every single thing wrong that my gut told me not to do.
Mm.
That was probably the worst subsection of my life, I'm not gonna lie.
Hmm. Isn't it funny? Like, you had the most, how some people would say, success or money, but then again, you felt like shit.
I
Isn't that
felt,
ironic?
yeah, it was the worst I've ever felt. And
Huh.
I'm very happy and thankful for that experience because now I know what I do need and what I don't need in my life, and I know how to get it the right way. Whereas if I would have done this 5, 10 years later and I would have got there the same way, I would have wasted 10 years of my life and I
Mm.
wouldn't have known how bad it is to be there. So I'm honestly very happy that I had it all and lost it all.
Was there any like point where you just wanted to quit? Like, where you just said, "Man, fuck all this trying to be an entrepreneur. Let's just go find a job. I'm just gonna give up on everything." Did that ever cross your mind?
It has a couple of times, I will say. After that, it did. And it did maybe 1 or 2 years ago. Like, I was doing it did when I had a girlfriend, I'll say that. Because I felt as though I needed a soft spot or I needed a security pouch or whatever you wanna call it.
Mm.
And, that's completely not necessary. If you put in the same amount of work and hours and time, like, if somebody was to put in 8, 9 I used to work, like, 12-hour shifts. If you put in that amount of time into doing, like, outreach and business and thinking about your product and what you can do if somebody would put that amount of time 40 hours of entrepreneurial work versus 40 hours of, like, 9 to 5 work,
Mm.
completely substantial difference in income, in mindset, in growth, and everything. But I will say,
Mm.
I have thought about that a couple of times when I was much younger, before I knew that I could do it.
Hmm.
Once you make money, your first time making money, whether it's your first dollar or whether it's your first $10,000, once you realize you can do it, that
Mm.
thought will fucking disappear. It should disappear. If it doesn't, I don't know what you're doing wrong, but it should disappear.
It's like you can't go back. You know too much. Is that like?
Exactly. You know too much at this point.
Yeah, man, fucking hell. Th- Do you think like okay, not everybody. Do you think anybody can make it? Make it,
Yeah.
whatever that means for them.
I fully believe that anybody can make it. Yes, there's no doubt about that in my mind. It doesn't matter if you look fucking fantastic. It doesn't matter if you're ugly by fucking social standards. It doesn't matter if you want to be faceless. It doesn't matter if you have
Mm.
a phone or a digital device of any kind. You can make it.
So then that raises the question: why do the majority of people fail? It's not like just a subset of people. It's the majority. It's more than half of the people. It's actually like 80% of them, maybe
It
90. Who
is.
knows? It's like the majority of people fail. Why do you think that is?
Um, they give up way too fucking fast. They give up. So this is the way I look at it. And this is the way I've seen it, and this is based on the success rate, because the success rate of my clients is 100%. I don't have any failures within my courses. I don't have any failures within the people I work with. People's success rate is determined by when they give up. Now, the way I look at it is if you never give up and you die trying, you did not fail. You just did not. You just died on
Hmm.
the way there. If you never give up and you continue to learn, eventually you will get it. If you keep putting yourself in the right rooms, you might pick up somebody that's going to be your new business partner. You might meet some people that are going to be, they might give you the business that you needed, that breakthrough. But regardless of what you do, if you never give up, you literally do not fail. Most people
Mm.
fail because they give up. They stop trying. They close down shop. They don't think that they can do it, and that's why people never fucking make it. So that's the biggest reason.
Hmm. What's like the key to long-term success? To like being successful and maintaining it over a long period of time.
Thank you, beautiful. For long-term success,
Yeah.
the biggest thing for long-term success, I would say, is, dude, that's actually a very good question. Because success is, it can be determined differently by different people. Like, I would say that one of the most successful points in my life was becoming closer to my family than I have ever been, and getting that relationship that I never had with them because I was adopted. So I had a lot of turmoil of like, who is, my biological family? And, I was like, why did they never tell me and all this? So I had a lot of turmoil with that. There was a lot of
Yeah.
different things that were like fucking around in my head. But success is determined in different ways. So maybe do you mean like financial success, or I just want to be able to answer the question to,
Um.
whatever would be helpful.
Then again, it's like a point where you feel like you got your shit together. When like let's say your family is taken care of, like you retired your parents, where you can actually go wherever you want in the world and you don't have to worry about prices, where you actually have a group of people around you that you love and care about. When you actually like when you're healthy, when basically the well-roundedness of your life is all in order, when there's no
Like
part of your
agree,
life lacking.
okay. So the best way to reach that is the question.
Yeah, and how to maintain it long term.
Okay. So the best way to, there's two things to maintain it and to get to that. To get to it, you have to live by get 1% better. Get 1% better is what
Mm.
I live by every single day. That's my brand. It doesn't matter if it's get better mentally, physically, spiritually. It doesn't matter where. And I know it sounds super, super cheesy, but if you get 1% better, you learn a new skill, or you learn a new efficiency to your company, or you learn a new AI prompt or tool that makes things faster for you. If you make sure that you're at least drinking water, going for a run, going to the gym, it doesn't matter if it's 20 minutes a day, but if you focus on one single thing, getting better every single day, you will inevitably get better. You will. It is impossible to go backwards. If you sit there and you scroll on your phone and you don't do shit, you're going to go
Yeah.
backwards. You're going to be negative 10, negative 10%. So, number one, to get there, get 1% better every single day in every single way. And if you can get 5, 10% better every day, that's fantastic. But on the days that you feel your absolute worst and you feel like shit, just get 1% better. Because some people feel overwhelmed by doing 10 things every day. So if you can just do one thing, that's great. Now, to maintain it once you get there, people always say balance. I need to find balance in my life. I need to find balance to this. Fuck balance. There's no such thing as balance. There's going to be different things come up. You're going to have different things that will, your car is going to break down. Something's going to happen with business. Somebody's going to want a refund, whatever the case may be. There is no balance. You have to be able to integrate. You have to be able to integrate a quality assurance team into your company to balance out the negatives. You have to be able to integrate fitness into your lifestyle. So if you had a longer day than usual, you had a 12-hour day, and now you're like, oh, I didn't get to go to the gym on my usual 5 o'clock because I had this meeting, which was, you never know, that 5 o'clock meeting that you took might be your next big breakthrough, your next big client. Go to the gym at 12 o'clock at night. I used to go to the gym at 2, 3 a.m. every single day at night after I worked 12 hours fucking cleaning cars because I wanted to get better. I wanted to get jacked. So I made sure I got my ass in the gym. There's no such thing as balance. Not everything's going to be perfect. It's not going to teeter totter for you. Life is not going to be on your side. So
Yeah.
integratability and integrating shit in your life is much more important than balance. So integrate and get 1% better. The two ways that you get there and then you sustain it.
Mm. Interesting. What separates thinking big and being realistic? Some people think big and some people are just realistic. Like, what separates that?
I love this question because I do love this question because thinking, okay, so being realistic is something that small minded people say.
Yeah.
I'll say that. And if this offends people out there, sucks to suck, but that's what small minded people say. That's what people, their dreams got crushed in front of them and they don't believe that they can do it. Thinking big is just what small minded people think is impossible. But thinking big is probably one of the best things you could do because this is actually something that I heard Iman Gadzhi say. We were talking, and he was like, "Bro, if you think so big that you're ahead of all the six-figure earners, once you get to the seven-figure earners, you are in such a zero, like a 0.00001 subsection of people. You don't really have much competition once you get there.
Mm,
You don't, and then you maintain it. But if you're down here and you're making $10,000 a month, you can lose it just as fast as you got it. You can spend it just as fast as you got it. So thinking big, what separates them is realistically your drive for it, but also what is your idea? How sustainable is it? Is your thinking big going to be, is it going to be architecturally sound? Is it something that the economy is going to need forever? Is it evergreen? Or is it a fad? Is it going to be like drop shipping? So when it
mm,
comes to thinking big, you need to keep that dream alive. You need to continue to chase it. Anybody tell
yeah.
sorry. If anybody tells you it's too big, if anybody tells you, oh, you need to be more realistic, absolutely not. You need to not listen to those people specifically, or first of all, you need to not listen to the people who say be more realistic. Granted, like I have this dream. I want to build a building in this specific area of RTP on the East Coast. I want to build a Rockefeller Center project. The Rockefeller Center now is worth $8.56 billion. I want to build a building just as big and a business line just as big as that. And I want to fund it with government money and federal
Mm,
money. It's a pretty fucking crazy dream. I'm still going to do it one day, though.
mm.
That's what people would say, be realistic. No, I'm not gonna be realistic. I'm just gonna set myself up to get there one day. Not sit here and say, oh, I guess that is too much money. Like $1 billion is a lot of money. But it's doable, obviously. Somebody did it.
Yeah. I think that's the most important thing. If somebody's done it before, like literally, you have to think about how many impressive things have some humans on this earth been able to do when they came from nothing. There are
Yeah.
billionaires, like 1,000 millions, that made it from coming from a poor family that they didn't have any money, and they have 1,000 million. Like you have to think how crazy is that, and to think that you can't make even 1 million if somebody made 1,000 million for out of nothing. I think that's just too much realism. I think that's just too much small thinking, in my opinion.
It is.
But there are also some like some 14-year-old kids thinking they can become a millionaire in 6 months. Okay, I think that's I think that's a little too big. I think that in
I
six
think that
months.
the timeline's unrealistic. It's
Yeah.
possible. It is. But
Mm.
it's unrealistic to expect that it will be you. Because it is a combination of timing, luck,
Yeah.
and what is supposed to happen. Like I don't know
Mm.
what your faith is or I don't know what you believe in. But
Mm.
there are certain things that people need to go through in order to receive the gifts you are meant to receive. If I would have received the money that I got beforehand without the experiences, if I would have been given the position I am now without those previous experiences, I would have been an arrogant dickhead. I already know it because I was. I was an arrogant young kid. I was buying chains, I was buying cars, I was buying houses with the money that I earned. If I
Mm.
had it now with the knowledge that I had then, it would be very, very different. So, yeah, I think that
Mm.
people's timelines might be a little bit unrealistic, but yeah, the fact that you can get that money and the amazing things that humans have done coming from ground zero is something to look at, take notes from, study. That's where people should start.
Hmm. Yeah, that's interesting, man. What do you think like is the most important like thing to become successful? Thinking of 2024, but going into 2025, like in today's age.
I would say three things. One, I'm going to say this a lot because it's part of what I do, but get 1% better. Just live by that rule. Everybody that I work with and everybody in my community lives by it. And they tell me how much easier things become, how much more they get done. Whenever they have a bad day, all they think about is, I just need to do one thing to get better today, and my day would be better. If you can do one simple thing, just do it. Two, people, where was I going with this? To going into 2025 to be successful. Two, realize that making money digitally is about to become much harder. People are catching on. People are understanding that they can make money from their phone. People are understanding that social media is the greatest shift and change in history. And people are noticing that. So, with that being said, it's about to get harder. I'm working in the cybersecurity space. There's about to be more cyber laws than there has ever been. cryptocurrency, and by cryptocurrency, I don't want to mean like the main three. You have like Bitcoin and Ethereum and all that. Not crypto, but Internet 3.0 is about to be bigger than ever. Like augmented reality, virtual reality, online spending is about to be bigger than ever. And three, there are more people on Earth than there has ever fucking been. There's more
Yeah.
people, there's more devices, and there's more everything. But there's also 70% of all internet traffic now is AI. 70% of all internet traffic is fucking.
70%.
It's scary that people don't realize it, but it is insane. The amount of, like, sadly to say, but the amount of OnlyFans accounts that are all AI, the amount of Twitter accounts that are all AI, the amount of comment accounts that are all AI is undistinguishably
Oh god.
scary.
Yeah.
But most people don't realize it. In all this traffic, more humans than ever are depressed. More humans than ever are on their phones scrolling. But more than ever, AI has generated more accounts than there are humans in the world and just blurred the lines between reality. So,
Fucking
with
hell.
all that being said, take advantage of the internet as soon as fucking possible. But also be aware that the internet's pretty dangerous as well. I teach that. I preach privacy and cybersecurity is like you got to take care of that in 2025.
Oh. I had a question. Is like discipline, how would you define, like, is it a skill or is it just a character trait that you're born with?
I would say it's both. I wouldn't say that anybody's born with it. I will say that some people probably have a threshold for a higher pain tolerance because discipline is partially pain tolerance. Like discipline going
I
through
didn't
reps
think
is
about
pain
it that way.
tolerance. What's that?
I didn't think about it that way, but yeah, pain tolerance, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, like people have a different threshold for pain tolerance. Like some people can sit there and take the beating, and some people, they need to get around it. Some people just their pain tolerance is shit. And it's not to shit on anybody specifically, but you can build your pain tolerance the same way that you can build your lung capacity. Like I went from not being able to hold my lungs for shit, I can sit underwater for fucking 3 minutes. I can just lay there. The same way that you can build your pain tolerance, you can do that with discipline. I don't want to say it's the exact same thing, but your threshold for the tolerance of pain and discomfort is equivalent to discipline. Discipline generally is used in cases of things you don't want to do, but it's also used in cases of, staying consistent, posting consistently. When you don't want to do something, you want to make sure you do it. And that's also being in control of your mind. So that's the first part. But if you want to build discipline, it's not a character trait you're born with. It's something you build, and it's something that you have to consciously build. So the top three things I would say for discipline is gain control of your mind. One, every single time you know you're not supposed to be doing something, every single time you know you're not supposed to be scrolling, I have the do it now protocol, which means stop now, do it now, get up right now, start posting right now. Do that. Build your threshold for pain, as well as be very, very conscious of every single thing that you do, and that'll really help you build your discipline.
Mm. I also feel like a lot of people want this, like, I'm thinking, how should I call it? Microwave success. Like they want it, like they want like they want to be like these rappers, like when in 2017 Lil Pump blew up overnight, let's say, or they want to be like these 14-year-old kids that make $10,000 a month at 14, 15.
Right.
They wanna put in a couple of months of effort and become a gazillionaire, and they want to make so much money in so little time, and they don't look for the difficulties, for the difficult lessons in it. They don't look for the
They want to avoid it.
failures. As soon as they fail, like the first 3 times, they fail. Bro, I failed so much shit. I tried dropshipping, I tried copywriting, I tried working for a social media marketing agency. I tried taking sales calls, and I took like 10 sales calls and I quit because I failed. But then again, I tried so much stuff, man. I keep failing, and I'm not gonna lie, man. But it's like I wouldn't say that time was wasted. I started like when I was like 15. I'm 17 now, and I'm still broke. But I'm still glad for the lessons. And I also feel a little bit like, I'm gonna sound really stupid for this, but sometimes I really feel like I'm behind. because I see guys my age that are making like 30, 40, 50K a month at 17, 18. And I'm like, man, next year I'm gonna be an adult, and I'm I'm still not making that much money. I'm like, man, what should I do? Like sometimes I panic, or I think like time is ticking and I'm not doing anything. Although I do have always a list of tasks that I do on a daily basis that are gonna take me to my goal. I know what how can I get my 1% better every day. But I still like doing these podcasts. I love it, but I still feel like I'm not doing enough sometimes. What do you think is the main thing um, that ensures your upward trajectory long term? That ensures that you're not wasting time thinking you're
Waste.
productive.
Oh, that's a good one. First, I would like to tell you and reinform you, you are not behind. I feel the exact same way, brother, because Iman and me are the same age, and he's a multi-millionaire, and I've only hit my first couple mil. So I'll tell you right now, you are not behind, and it's gonna feel like that no matter what stage you're at. Whenever you're chasing success, bro, it is always gonna feel like you're not doing enough. It is always gonna
Mm.
feel like you could be doing more. It's gonna feel like you should be where somebody else is at. But even when you get to where somebody else is at, bro, you're gonna look at the next fucking guy. You're gonna be like, oh, that's a nice Bugatti Chiron. I should have that. There are 23-year-old kids that have three Bugattis, bro.
Mm.
And it's like some people just aren't even meant to be at that caliber level. Like my business partner, I have multiple businesses. I have SWD Media, then I have my main educational company, Aesthetic Academics. My business partner, he very specifically does not like the chaotic lifestyle, right?
Mm.
So he requires a specific level of consistency. Otherwise, things just feel too chaotic for him, and it's just not healthy for him.
Mm.
But all of that to say, if you want to make sure that you stay on a consistent upper level, that getting 1% better, doing these podcasts, reaching out to different people who have already been successful, continuing to work on yourself. But the main thing around everything that I'm bullshitting and saying right now, if I've learned anything working for all the people I have, because I've been around billions of dollars, and my phone has billions of dollars worth of people in it,
Mm.
work on your product. This is what I've learned because I slacked for so long. Work
Mm.
on something you can talk about for fucking hours every day that you are passionate about, that you
Mm.
love. Whether it's like a service, whether it's a product that you offer, whatever it is, work on that day by day. Find a way to get it better. Go read the reviews of other people who have negative reviews and make sure that you do not include things that other people do not want to begin with. Learn
Mm.
from people's mistakes, learn how to improve your product, but also just make your own product. At the end of the day, working for somebody else is great, working
Mm.
along somebody else is great, leveraging somebody else's shit is great, like credit, money, businesses, doing all of that is fucking fantastic. But work on something that is going to be yours and solely yours, or if you have a business partner, like 51-49 split, make sure that you have like mostly solo ownership of it though. Make sure that you have your own, work on it, develop it, perfect it, and forever make sure you have your own company, your own LLC, your own successful product. That the failure of it is dependent on your choices, and the success of it is dependent on your choices. You
Mm.
never want to lose control of your own success. So that's the number one thing. I don't care if it takes a year, 6 months, 2 months, or 2 years. It doesn't matter. If it
Mm.
takes 20 years. But always have something that you're working on that is solely yours.
Hmm. Yeah. I feel like the majority of people that watch me are like young guys, like below 20 or below 25. So that's why I think that the main reason why I'm doing these podcasts is trying to. I feel like I'm humble enough to know that I haven't experienced enough life yet. I don't know that much yet. And I'm doing these podcasts learning from people that inspire me, and literally it's like live education. Like I'm literally speaking to someone that inspires me, and I love doing this. I love doing these podcasts, and I also post the lessons that I've learned every once in a while. And I feel like that's always like something that's something that's inspired me. It's like whenever I learn something new, I always wanted to share this. And it's even when I wasn't posting content, when I was like in school and I learned some what was I actually doing? I was doing parkour when I was when I was like 13, you know.
Yeah,
So
that's
and
dope.
and I did my first backflip, and then I was teaching my friends how to do backflips. I was trying to train them, you know. And I was like, I always had like that, always wanted to help someone or just like share something that new that I've learned every single time. So I feel like that ever since I was like 13, that has holding me up to this age, and I feel like this is something that's meaningful to me. So yeah, that's
I feel
something.
like it is perfect though. Like this is something that you absolutely love doing. I mean, even just look at Joe Rogan. Like
Mm,
he's a perfect example of they're called podcasters, dog. But at the end of the day,
mm,
this is live education. This is education to
yeah.
other people. And I was talking about this with my brother. Me and my brother. My brother is 16 years old. Dude's smart as fuck. Like he makes
Mm.
a lot of people in their 20s and 30s look dumb. Dude, astrophysicist. He talks and he learns very, very quickly. Smart
Mm,
cat, just like. And when it comes to your age, you might not have a lot of life experience, right? You might have not traveled a lot. You might have not been in the situations that you're hearing about or the
mm,
different people that you're interviewing. You might not have experienced and felt them, but you at least have an idea. You have at least been exposed to the different ideas that most people just can't even fathom have happened in the world.
mm.
Like if I told you the different things that have happened to me in Miami, you'd be like, I didn't even know that was fucking possible to happen on Earth. But within these different things, you might not have experienced it, but you're learning, you are getting prompted to be able to deal with these situations better than people
Mm.
who have no clue they even exist. You're going to learn that. I mean, even when it comes to making money, dog, like, where are you posting your podcasts to?
Right now, YouTube and Rumble, and I'm also doing clips on Instagram Reels. Always, whenever I see something that I would want to share with even more people, because the majority of my followings is actually on Instagram.
Okay, so that's perfect then. And even after this, like I would even like to work one on one with you. Like if you just want to just shoot me over some shit, if you just want
Mm.
to join the Discord or whatever it is, I'll give you my phone number. Just send me whenever you want to post something. I'd be happy to give you a little bit of guidance. You should be getting paid from
Hell yeah.
YouTube. You should be getting paid from Instagram. These things are so easy to do, and I don't feel like enough people know about it, dog. But like, if you want to start generating income, these are the perfect platforms to do it. This is the
Mm.
perfect time to do it. Depending on where you're at, I'd be happy to help you. Just don't even worry about the price. Let's make you some fucking money, dude. Because at this point, like I said, before 2025 is when you want to get started.
Mm.
And you're already off to a really good start. You're doing the right thing. If this is something you're passionate about, you should absolutely do it because I do what I do because above all things, I care about men's mental health. All of everything that I do stems from making sure that men are set up financially and mentally in life so that they do not want to kill themselves. That is why I do what I do.
Mm.
Not because of the money, not because it makes me look cool in Lambos, but what I do is set men up to feel and look good so they do not want to end their life. That is my number one priority
Mm.
whatsoever.
Yeah. Give me a quick second. My heater is on and I'm sweating my balls here. Give me a second. Okay. So, another thing that I wanted to mention is that so many people have like this. How should I say it? I heard this quote from someone. It's okay to be broke, but it's not okay to be cheap. And it's like some people have this scarcity mindset that they are not willing to invest in themselves. They are willing to invest in other people's business. Let's give an example. Every single 16-year-old has AirPods, has the newest iPhone, has some Jordans on them, you know. They spend hundreds of dollars, even like $1,000 on a phone. Stuff like this. But they would not, they hesitate about spending 50, 100, $200 on an online community. And for example, Andrew Tate has The Real World for $50. Oh my goodness, bro. That's like you learn so much stuff for $50. I'm thinking, man, what would I otherwise spend $50 on? A hoodie? Like, come on now. Like
That's like
some,
two. That's like
yeah.
a meal.
Like what?
That's like a meal, dog. Like that. That's what most people
Mm.
would spend, like on the phones and headphones and all this stupid shit. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess in the U.S. I mean, here in Europe, like even like a ribeye steak like costs like $30, $20 somewhere. So like the prices are different. But yeah, I get what you mean. Like $50. like it's such high ROI. I was so flabbergasted by it. But then again, I've hesitated on that decision so long, but I didn't mind spending money on, again, stuff like Spotify Premium and all these different subscriptions that weren't adding to my life, you know. So I feel
Right.
like so many people, so many guys, they say they're on the grind and they want to improve themselves, but they're not willing to invest in themselves. So yeah.
Yeah. It's such an interesting thing, and I don't disagree with you. Is that is part of that scarcity mindset, and maybe it's a little bit of perceived value along with the scarcity. Like it's a lot easier
Mm,
to purchase something that you know is good. It's a super massive company like Apple or
mm,
whatever, and the product's in your fucking hand. You already know how it works. You already know how to apply it in your life. You already know how it's going to make you better, and you can hold it. I feel like that makes things easier. But at the same
mm,
time, maybe it's also the marketing of these people. If they would market it a little bit better, if they would show people the value a
yeah.
little bit earlier. But then again, when it comes to the real world, Andrew Tate, there's plenty of social proof. But the biggest
Mm,
thing I think that it is people are scared. There are so many, I don't want to call them scammers, but there are. There's so many people that are scammers. There are so many people that create shit products that people have invested in and had horrible experiences.
mm,
There are so many testimonies
yeah.
of horrible experiences. There are so many SMMA motherfuckers out here that create the worst agency. They don't get results whatsoever. They just run a bunch of ads and they don't give
Yeah.
you any actual, like, they get you views. Like, yeah, you should get
Mm,
views for running a fucking ad, but they don't know how to even do things organically. They don't know how to generate things organically. They don't know how to create a 10-year plan for you. They don't know how to actually get you followers that are going to be engaged in your content, targeted followers. Like, there's so many bad experiences on the internet
mm,
that I think buying digital products has just become such a nasty taste in people's mouth. And that is already on top of the scarcity mindset and the broke mindset, you know?
yeah.
So there's just so many negative things tacked to it. I think it really takes a fucking big pair of balls to go ahead and make
Mm,
that purchase. But also, it takes either that, knowing that the product works, and a good referral, basically, and maybe third, somebody who's just like, fuck it. Somebody's like, I want to learn. I'm so hungry
yeah.
to learn. I don't care where I have to get it, you know? I
But then
feel
again,
like, go
go
ahead.
ahead.
All I would say is the best way to learn anything is go on YouTube and try it yourself. Learn
Mm,
from different people, take the free information, and it doesn't matter what you do. Every single thing that you learn, whether it's from a professional, from a sales call, from a mentorship, every single thing you should do should be taken with a grain of salt, and you should apply it in your own way. The way that you take a sales call might be different from somebody else, and you might have better success than them because
mm,
you're better with people than them and you're better with reading and psychology and shit. So everything you learn should be taken with a grain of salt, but you should also take the free shit and the paid shit and apply it
mm,
in your own way. You should just experiment with
yeah.
it. That's all it is.
I feel like I've never really, every single time, like I've spent my last money, my last dollar that I had on some form of education or a networking opportunity, it has mostly paid off. I'm gonna, can I tell you a quick story? Like 2 minutes is gonna take.
Of
I
course.
I met this guy. He was 19 years old. I believe I told this story once on my YouTube channel. He was 19 and I was obviously 17. It was this summer pretty much. And this guy is actually he was a trader, I believe, or either crypto or in trading. And I had no idea like about this stuff, but I still reached out to him. And he told me that he would hit me up whenever he would be in Prague, the capital city of Czech Republic, because he was from Poland. So that's the next country, like next to Czech
Oh,
Republic.
it's good.
So about a month or two later, he told me that he had a meeting, so he's gonna be in Prague for 2 days. So bro, I had like $30 like in my bank account or something like that, and I was like, man, I don't know how. Where will I go with him? Will I go to if I go to a restaurant with him with $30? I'm not gonna be able to afford shit in Prague, in the capital city. But I took the chance. $30, $5 ticket to Prague, hour-long train drive. I went for coffee with him in Prague. In Prague, everything is expensive. There was like we went to a
Yeah.
restaurant that's also a coffee shop, so you have food and coffee there. And so I spent like $8 on an espresso on a small coffee, $8, which for me, like I was like, okay, compared to my city, this was different. And then I saw that guy buy a fucking $200 lobster, $150 lobster with a champagne or something, and with he had a full table of food, and he spent like $300 or $400 on lunch, and I spent like $10 on coffee because that was all the money I had. But then again, I'm so glad I did that, and I spent my last money in Prague because I had no idea that he would be there that weekend, that particular weekend. So I was unprepared, but I still went. But then again, I spoke. He took like 15 or 20 minutes out of his life to spend time to talk to me, and that was like the thing that I value the most. He was making like 20 grand a month at 19. He was a guy that was 2 years older than me, and I had the chance to speak to him for like 20 minutes, and I was like, man, you know what? That was well worth the 1 hour train ride and the last $30 that I had to my name. I do not regret that, because although I'm not into trading, I don't think I'm gonna head that way. I learned a lot of other stuff from that conversation. So I feel like a lot of people wouldn't have spent their last $30 to go meet a dude in Prague and spend the time and the money to meet him for a 20-minute conversation. To me, that was well worth it, and I do not regret that. And I feel like I do not mind making mistakes, even though this wasn't a mistake. Even if it was, I still don't think I would regret that.
Dude, I think that is beautiful. I think there's a lot of catfish to have a takeaway from that. I've had to do the same thing multiple times. And it might be a mistake, but there are no mistakes if you learn from it, in my
Mm.
opinion. There's nothing, it doesn't matter if you've lost money, if you've lost time, if you lost a car. In life, you're going to lose everything. You're going to die. You're going to run out of time. You're going to run out of money. So if you do it and you learn something from it, I don't really think it was a mistake. I've lost plenty in my life.
Mm.
I've lost everything and I've had everything. And that is a beautiful thing that a lot of people should take. Like that last dollar could be your breakthrough. You might have learned something from that conversation that you don't know it yet, but you might use in the future. And that will be your breakthrough. But you don't know it yet. So when it comes to situations like that, I think pulling the trigger on that is absolutely worth it every single time. But there's also a gut feeling that you have to listen to, you know? Not every single guru is going to be the one. Not every single person is going to be worth meeting. But damn sure this guy took 20 minutes out of his day to talk to you, to meet you. Granted, our lives are very important. They're packed full, but at the same time, the way that I look at it is like every single human is human. Nobody is better than any other human. I don't care about your color. I don't care about your stats. Or I don't care about what fucking bloodline you come from. We are all human. We all started as a fucking sperm, and we all came out the same way. We all do the same things. And if I can help another person, if I can spread the way that my life has changed, I acknowledge how much has changed. And if I can give that to somebody else to pass on over and over and over again, I'm happy to do that. Not everybody looks at it that way, though, sadly. So. But if you ever do get the opportunity, I think that's a beautiful thing that a lot of guys should hear that story and like take that with them.
How would you say you have changed as a person in the last 3 to 5 years?
Mm. Um, I I have changed so much. I can't even.
Like
I'm
if
not even.
if if you had to had a conversation with yourself 5 years ago.
I don't even know if I could explain everything to myself.
Mm.
Like how I said I've lived like 6 different lives. Like
Mm.
when I say that, like I've gone from in Miami, I was doing the clubs. I owned everything. I've done street racing. I've worked regular jobs before. I've done the entrepreneurial running around the world, traveling and doing travel entrepreneur. I've done bodybuilding and fitness for the last 4 years. I've done gaming and industry. I've
Mm.
done lots of different things. But I guess, I mean, if I could tell myself anything, it's like stop being such an arrogant douche. You
Mm.
need to really care about the most important thing to you as a human by the time that you were my age, 23. The most important thing that you will ever have in your life is a relationship with your family and friends. Make sure it's positive. Keep any negativity, anything that disturbs your peace needs to be gone. And anything that disturbs your line of work and your income needs to be gone. Your focus needs to be absolute at all times. And you need to make sure that you are in control of your emotions, your actions, your thoughts, everything. That I wouldn't even tell myself about how to make money or anything. I would tell myself those things, those will translate into making
Mm.
money. Because either way, I wanted to make money my entire life. I came from living in a
Yeah.
fucking truck. So those are the things I would tell myself specifically.
You know, a lot of people like sacrifice in order to make money. They sacrifice things that they cannot get back, like relationships with their family members. They sacrifice those which they cannot get back with money, but they will not sacrifice money which they can get back to get to where they want to be, you know, like they
The
would
exact
much,
opposite.
yeah, exactly, they would much rather scam or stab their brother for some money rather than investing money in themselves. Like that's how some people don't think long term and they think about the short term. It's like they want instant gratification.
It's that, and I feel like it comes a little bit from just money hungry, but also
Ah,
it's money hungry, but it's your morals, dude. Like at the end of the day, I cannot sleep at
yeah,
night thinking that I fucked my brother over. I cannot
yeah,
sleep at night. Like that's why my life was just so shit. I left my entire family up in like North Carolina to go down to Miami to make that money, and I wasn't making it the way that I wanted to make it. I
yeah.
could not. I didn't do it for longer than a year. I'm so happy that I stopped. Like I said, the relationships and the morals and the principles that you build yourself on as a man, dude, I feel like is especially important in today's world where everybody acts like a bitch, everybody acts like a snake, everybody says
Yeah.
one thing and does another thing. It is the most important thing if you want to live like a fulfilling life that you are proud of. And this also makes you very confident if you stick by your principles and your morals every single day. It's like having a schedule, bro. It makes it
Mm.
so easy for you to not lie. It makes it so easy for you to give it to them straight. It makes it so easy to talk. It makes it so easy to present yourself. Because not only does it build confidence, you know exactly what you're talking about. You don't have to keep up with lies. You don't have to keep up with looking over your shoulder and see what's going on. Just overall as a man, I feel like having principles and morals, which also is something that nobody has nowadays, having that book of ethics will put you, it will set you apart, dog. There are too many people who will snake you for some cash, some money. Money does not fucking matter. Money comes out of thin air. Money has zero value, dog. Like it's literally something that
It's
humans created in
imaginary.
exchange for food. Like
Yeah.
money has no value. Friends, family, relationships, and experiences together are the most valuable thing in the world, in my opinion.
Yeah, because money is something you can get back. Money is something you can make again. But
One hundred
if you
percent.
fuck up your relationship with your father, it's harder to get that back than make money again, you know?
It is. It really is. But
I
I'm
want
happy that you know this. You know this early.
what
What's
did you
that?
say?
Oh, I'm just happy to hear that you know this early. Like among
Mm.
all people, most people do not learn this until it's too late.
Mm. Let's talk about fitness a little bit. Do you think like there's okay, there's two types of people. There are some people that say health and wealth are not correlated. Like the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. They say that that's not true, and they say that like how should I say it? Okay, they say that your fitness and your discipline in fitness has nothing to do with your discipline in business. And some people also think that it's directly correlated. What is your stance on this?
Um, for fitness specifically, I don't know if this would translate to all skills and developments in your life, but fitness, absolutely. Only because people a lot of times also say that bodybuilders make the best entrepreneurs. But that is because there's three main principles that stem from fitness that specifically make you stand out from the rest of the population. Your pain tolerance, that discipline is absolutely necessary when it comes to anything entrepreneurial. When it comes to building something, it doesn't matter if it's a pyramid, it doesn't matter if it's your life, your body, your business. Doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's your relationship. All of these things require discipline and consistency. And when it comes to health and fitness, having discipline and consistency on a regular basis without instant gratification is absolutely necessary. People who have great physiques and great bodies do not achieve anything through getting instant results. People who do that have consistency, they have discipline, they take care of shit when it needs to be done, whether they feel like doing it or not. There's so many different skills and there's so many different things in fitness that translate. But that is also something that people need to keep in mind because even I had to do this. I had to not get depressed when I don't get to go to the gym. I had to make sure that I take care of things outside of it. I had to make sure that the gym wasn't my only outlet. So there is a healthy balance that you need to have with fitness because some people use it to run away from their problems. Some people use it to ignore their family, their girlfriend, whatever the case may be. So fitness is probably one of the best outlets for anything. Like stop drinking, stop smoking, stop doing all that stupid shit. Go to the gym, do it. But also there are principles and there are teachings that you can learn through fitness that will translate, and there are things that you should also be mindful of going into it.
What was like a life lesson that you've learned from the gym?
From the gym.
This is a tough one.
This is a tough one. Only because it hasn't specifically been the gym for me. It's more so been a journey because I've met so many amazing. I've probably met every single person I ever wanted to. Just in the gym, I feel as though I've met every single person that I've ever wanted to. And I've done everything that I've wanted to. I've traveled, I've seen people, I've met people, I've done collaborations. And you won't see me ever post a collaboration with anybody else because my brand is my brand. I don't fucking try and mooch off of other people's followers and collect followers and do all that like clout chasing. I don't do that shit. But all to say, the biggest thing I learned from the gym is that once I really got into it, I mean, I guess I would say it taught me consistency and discipline among all things, but like it taught me that your looks aren't everything. The gym isn't everything. It's not everything that you think it will be. It won't get you the girls that you think it will get. It won't get you the results that you think it'll get you. It will not give you the ego and the confidence that you think it will give you. Going to the gym is great, but it will not give you all the things that you think it will, you know?
There's like this term called gym cells, like guys that have only the gym, but they have nothing else going for themselves. They live with their mom. They have been going to the gym for the past 5 years, so they look absolutely amazing. But they don't monetize it. They don't educate themselves. They don't make money with fitness. They don't use it to anything. It's like they call them gym cells, but it's like it's about being multi-dimensional. It's about I believe it's about not being good in only one thing, but in general in life trying to improve all areas of life.
No, they're very singular with what they know and what they learn. Like it's really harmful. Like that's literally what I've been doing is I've been going through I have a CRM of like 1,000 different people. And I'm just going to all of the people that I see like that. All the people who are going to the gym, have a great physique, and they're not doing anything. They don't have more than 10,000 followers. They're not posting anything. They're not making any money. All they do is go to the gym. All they do is post cringy shit like I used to do. I'm going to all these people and I'm like, yo, are you making any money? What are you doing? What are you trying to do with your fitness? What are you trying to do with your career? Like, I will show you how to do it. And I have like different programs. Like I have the $50 program. I have a $400 program. I have a $1,500 one-on-one coaching program. But that's the biggest thing is it sucks to see people get in such amazing shape and then they're like, what do I do now? I don't know how to do anything else.
Yeah.
I didn't learn anything else along these 5 years. I didn't focus on anything else. It's like they're so singular with everything that they're doing. It's just not helpful and beneficial to any other part of their life other than their superficial body, which dies. What you do in this world does not die.
Another thing that I don't understand is like people like, do you know who's Aiden Ross?
Yes,
and his friend Neon, like these two guys, like Neon is the skinny one and Aiden is the skinny fat one. It's like, man, these guys have all the fucking money. They could actually get in shape. Like it's not that hard. Like me who had basically who basically ate eggs because we have homegrown chicken. I didn't have money to buy steaks. I didn't have money to eat meat. So I binged like 10 to 15 eggs a day. And like bro, I didn't even have money to buy protein powder enough. You know, like every month or two, I bought a protein powder, a kilo one, and that lasted me for like another month or two. And it's like if like it's so easy for them to get in shape now when they even have the money for a nutritionist, for a personal trainer, and everything. It's like I feel like it's about that hunger because there are plenty of broke people that got in perfect shape even with bad nutrition, with less knowledge, no mentorship, and anything. And people that can actually afford these things, they don't use that. Some of them, obviously, not everyone. I feel like these
Right.
are also lost potentials.
Honestly, dude, I was one of those people. Like the
Hmm.
best shape of my life was when I got out of my car. Like I
Hmm.
used that fire and that down part of my life was like it was a really low part of my life, and the gym was my outlet. The gym was my outlet to stop drinking and stop smoking and stop doing all that stupid shit. And I got the biggest
That's
I've ever
amazing.
been. I had to acquire like gym sponsorships to pay for my supplements. That's how I got my supplements. That's how I got my food. Is I had a salary with the companies I was working with. I worked with Gymsharp, First Form, Gym Supplements. They paid for my food. They paid for my supplements. Eventually, started paying for my car note. I
Hmm.
used all of those tools on top of learning how content creation works, on top of learning how my body works, because I didn't have a personal trainer. I didn't have a NASM CPT. I didn't have this shit. I had to figure it out. And I was one of the people that used what I knew correctly. And they're the perfect example of people who misuse everything. They are just
Hmm.
tons of distraction. Like I literally made a post about this. Me and Sam were talking shit about this. We were like, bro, people who watch streamers are fucking losers. Like they are.
Yeah.
People who sit there for 7 hours a day, comment, watching, sending their money to streamers for what, bro? They don't talk about it. They don't do
Oh
anything.
god. Man.
So it's
Yeah, if it was
it's
like an educational stream, you know, if okay, I would get that, but it's like,
if I had the opportunity to sit there in Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate's fucking war room and talk back
yeah,
and forth with them, fuck yeah, I would sit there and listen. But that's
yeah.
not the case.
I mean, I agree with that absolutely. What's I want to get into some rapid fire questions before we wrap up. So
Okay.
I got the first one. What's the best advice you've been given?
The best advice I have been given. There's so much. There's so much, man. And I don't know. I can't say that I have been given much advice. Everything that I have learned, and I don't want to just sit here and say I learned everything, but
Mm.
99% of things that come out of my mouth have been learned through me fucking up and my experiences going wrong. I
Mm.
that's majority of my knowledge, but I guess one of the best things that I could be taught is something that FaZe Rain had said to me, and he was like, "The more people that you can impact in this world, and the better that you can leave this world, the better you will feel your entire life, and the more positive energy you will be filled with, as long
Mm.
as you focus on fulfilling others, not yourself."
Mm. That's that's profound, man. That's a good one. I
Yeah,
have the
that's
control.
something I live by.
Have the control right now. What's the worst advice you've been given? Somebody
Get a
like gave
job,
you advice and it was like completely stupid advice.
get a fucking job, get a job, you'll never make it.
That's like the most common one. Fucking hell. Like
It
every.
was, dude. It was so beautiful because when they fired me from my job, I specifically took my Lambo back there and I said, I want to buy a car from you guys. And I walked around the lot with them. I said, none of these cars are worth my time. Goodbye.
Mm.
I was like, no, I'm not doing this. It was the sweetest shit ever. Dog.
If you had a son, what's like the one most important piece of advice you would teach him?
What was that?
If you had a son, what would be like the most important piece of advice you would tell him?
One most important piece of advice. Probably. s- the get 1% better. You need to
Mm.
get 1% better. That's what I live by. Like I don't care if it's keep getting 1% better to understand your mom, your sisters, mental, your knowledge, your finances,
Mm.
building your ethics. Keep understanding psychology. Keep evolving. Just get 1% better every single fucking day.
Mm. Is reading a waste of time?
You know, it's very interesting that you asked that. I wouldn't say that it's a waste of time. It depends on how you learn. Let me say that. Because sitting there, and because me and Sam talk about this all the time, sitting there for 5 hours would absolutely be a fucking waste of time, especially because the number one rule of business is speed. It doesn't matter if it's making your customers happy with speed. It doesn't matter if it's producing. It doesn't matter if it's delivering. It doesn't matter if it's scaling. Speed, this is for business. Reading in general is not a waste of time. But
Mm.
depending on what your goals are, sometimes you need to put that Audible book in 2x. Sometimes you need
Mm.
to do it periodically. It's not a waste of time, and there are absolutely good pieces of rhetoric out there that you need to read. So, no, I won't say it's a waste of time, in short.
Mm. What's the purpose of life?
To make this world a better place.
Mm.
Your life is going to end, and everybody else's life around you is going to end. But if you can make this world a better place in some way, shape, or form, you at least leave this world. I don't feel as though our purpose is to fucking fulfill ourselves
Mm.
and drive our own cars and do our own shit. To make this world a better place and make everybody's life better is our purpose. If you just focus on
Mm.
yourself, your life is going to be shit, and you're going to notice that. You know, if you're
Mm.
one of those people out there, that's what you're going to notice is your life is shit if you just focus on yourself.
Mm. Interesting. If you could be given instantly $1 million or 1 million followers, which one would you pick?
Uh, Are they active followers engaged in every single thing that I do? Or are they just followers? Because followers are very two different things depending on who they are and where they come from.
Let's say that there
Like, am
are.
I being given my brand that I could have in 10 years? Or am I just being given 1,000? Because I could buy 1 million followers with like
Mm.
$10,000. So it really
Let,
depends.
let's say there are like 1,000 fans, like 1,000 like loyal fans actually, like 1 million. Sorry,
1,000.
not 1,000.
Wait, what was that?
Like let's say there were 1 million loyal fans, not just followers.
Oh, 1 million loyal fans?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'll make my money. But 1 million people's lives that I have the chance to impact is
Mm.
fucking insane.
Holy
Nothing will
shit.
compare to that. That's the goal.
Mm. If Oh my goodness, on this question I've gotten so many different answers, and I'm curious what would be yours. If you could rewind your life to a certain age, what age would you rewind to, and what would you have done differently?
Well, this is probably the most boring answer you ever get, but I wouldn't change a single fucking thing about my life.
Interesting. Or
I wouldn't
relive.
change
Let's say that if you could rewind and just relive a part of your life.
relive it.
Yeah.
A lot of my life I would not like to remember. I'll say that. But relive probably the moment that I realized I wanted to make the content that I do. The moment
Mm.
that I became a part of Face.
Mm.
Probably that. That's been the most impactful feeling of my life, so probably that.
Mm. Last question. What advice would you give to your 17-year-old self?
Keep doing everything that you're doing. It is going to work. Keep learning. Keep watching those stupid YouTube videos. Stay out of those stupid friend groups in school. Don't worry about making friends in high school because all those people are going to come back to you and ask for workout programs. Don't worry about it. Keep doing what you're doing.
Mm. Okay. These were rapid fire questions. So, what's next for Jay Reagan?
So, this year, there is a lot going on. In 2024, December 31st, the 10K 90 day course is going to have a price tag on it.
Mm.
I have several communities that are growing right now. I have patents on the Google Play Store and the Apple Play Store for my e-learning
Mm.
platform that will be launched on January 1st of 2025. There will be the mastermind on January 2nd of 2025. there is the Get 1% Better brand. So my podcast has been rolling out every single week. That's growing, that's doing well. And that will be released, the merchandise for that will be released on January 2nd, 2025.
Hmm.
So there's a lot
Okay.
that I'm working on, including my aesthetic academics e-learning platform. Biggest thing.
Okay. Where can people find you?
You can find me everywhere: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter. I'm on every single platform for reasons that we don't have to get into, but the best places to reach me are probably YouTube and Instagram.
Okay. Well, it was a really amazing conversation. Guys, thanks for watching it till the end, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.